Greetings, adventurers. My name is Valkyria, and welcome back to my Let's Play series of Vampire the Masquerade, Shadows of New York. We are in Kadir's car. As usual, he gave me the back seat. He's always uneasy when the passenger seat is taken. Doesn't want anyone to limit his peripheral vision, he says. Normally, I'd catch him observing me in the rear view mirror, but this time he's watching the streets, more tense than usual. Something must have caught him off guard. I've got my seatbelt on and my popcorn ready. What's up? The awkward silence feels like it will last forever. Eventually, he finds the right words and speaks up. 6 weeks ago, the prince told me to parley with the anarch in the docks, remember? Yeah, and you made me tag along so that I could learn something about politics. As it turned out, politics meant something awfully similar to watching my drunken family shout at each other at a wedding party. There was this man who didn't need to shout to make my blood boil, the meanest one in the room, their leader, white hair, a monocle, musty clothes. Boss Callahan, with this fucking Pollock. Scrooge McDuck. Yeah, how could I forget? A lot of panache, old-timey bravado, and gendered insults flung my way. What was his name? Something British. Made me think of Hollywood. Callahan? Baron Callahan. Douglas Boss Callahan. Right, it's 2020, but the man's opinions and ideas were stuck in 1920. Weren't the anarchs supposed to be the progressive option? I never understood why they put up with him. He has his ways of predicting which way the wind will blow. Anytime Camarilla or the CI hit the anarch, it was the factions opposed to him that were hurt. The luckiest bastard in the world. Thought you didn't believe in luck. I don't, but it sure looks like his luck has finally run out tonight. Huh? Wait, don't tell me. We're going to kill him or he's dead. The anarchs got rid of him? Let's assume that he's dead. Is dead? Deader than dead? I'm 99% sure the bastard met his final death. How do you know? We've got trustworthy sources in the anarch inner circles. Looks like all hell is about to break loose. There's an emergency meeting at the Art Hall. Jesus, and you're bringing me with you? Why? Because you were on the way. Because I could. Because I should. You might not be important to the members of the court, but you're still an asset to this sect. Symbolically, at least, I can justify sneaking you into the party claiming it's for your own protection. As always, my very own Vin Diesel takes care of his familia. Shh. Wait a minute, though the party is still happening? I called the prince, told her the best course of action is stopping it, and started listing security protocols I have prepared for these sorts of situations. She interrupted me halfway through and told me we will discuss the subject face to face. Doesn't sound like she was interested. The party is that important, huh? Politics is that is important. I don't know if he's trying to convince me or himself. And once again, politics sound an awful lot like a bunch of party-loving ass shouting at each other. Don't worry, this isn't the kind of, how should I call it? Governing issue the likes of you and I tend to deal with. And how would you describe the governing issues we tend to deal with? Shoveling yourselves out of shit. As usual, he seems a little embarrassed for cussing. Or for being too honest. Either way, it's cute. Oh, Vin Diesel is so cute. How adorable. No argument here. And that's where the conversation ends. We stay silent as the car rides off toward the unknown. I'm not a New York City baron. The Baron of New York City, if you please. Once more, a memory of an old douchebag who thought he could rule the world crosses my mind. Well, it looks like the world has left him behind. Sayonara. And here I am, at the only place I didn't expect to visit tonight. The Art Hall. Guessing by the sounds, the inside seems lively. Even if they know it's an emergency, they simply don't care. What are you standing around for? You still need an invitation? No idea, do I? I think the bouncer will let you in. There's a bouncer? Yes, and he's standing right in front of you. Just start walking, whoop. And here I am, among partying elites. It's as stuffy and boring as I expected, but hey, at least it's exclusive. The title Panard came up with for these yearly gatherings is called Celebrations of Power, an invitation to re-examine the relationship between our undead bodies and the spaces they inhabit. The week-long event is packaged as a sort of performance art piece meant to make the kindred who are involved celebrate their potential instead of despairing at their monstrous nature. We need to counter-program the omnipresent images of tragic vampirism with images that remind us we have inherited the earth and are now free to remake it on our image. To remake it in our image, is the way our prince puts it. To this end, she organizes a series of exhibits, concerts, fireworks, parties, business meetings, etc., etc. Of course, the parties and business meetings are the most important. My prince. Oh, she looks so good tonight. I love her dress. Kadir, finally. A saint with angelic wings, a holy patron of New York City. I take a good look around. Half of the figures here are dressed like they're attending a masked ball. The other half are religious figures, either demonic or saintly. I have to admit, I don't fully understand the theme here. I know Panard based it on psychomagic, a sort of shamanic psychotherapy using the power of art. Simply put, it's a holy mass, an unholy mass in equal measures. A set of rituals meant to make the participant wholeheartedly accept they're both the worst and the best this earth has to offer. Put on this mask, at the very least, you're standing out. Here? It looks like a lion. I heard the aesthetic basis for these parties is the black mass in the film Eyes Wide Shut. Something this decision means Panard is stone deaf, but it's quite the contrary. She knows the anarchs are constantly looking for ways to undermine her through heart and rhetoric that point out glaring contradiction in her theoretically benevolent rule. But instead of denying and suppressing aesthetics designed to criticize the elites, she embraces them. Instead of risking a Streisand effect, she effectively defends the opposition. The resistance become a part of the system, and both the Camarilla and the anarchs get the same message. Don't think of it as a pathology. Think of it as a new normal. I'll collect the key advisors. They've already been told to come here. I don't think there's a need for us to hold a meeting in a particularly secluded place. We'll just do it over there. Are you certain? Absolutely. Wait, is that Miss Sovinsky I see behind you? Good evening. I will let him talk. I nudged Kadir to take over. I collected her on my way here because of her role as a La Sombra representative. Just say political hostage. You people have made it perfectly clear what's gonna happen with my parents back in Chicago if I go against you. I realized she might become a target and decided to hide her at the art hall. Putting all my eggs in one basket will make my job easier, but more dangerous, I think. I will look for a safe place for her to spend the night. Thomas! Let her stay with you for now, Alasmai. Time is of the essence. I didn't notice him sneak up on us. Nice getup. Are you absolutely sure? But of course! Everything we say here is going to become an open secret in a matter of minutes. Prince Bernard has already come up with the appropriate messaging. Out of the corner of my eye, I spot an elderly vampire guiding a young, fashionable human girl toward the basement, led like a lamb to the slaughter. Best not to think too deeply about what's going on underneath this place. Before everyone gets here, I'd like to secure the perimeter. Easy now, Alasmai. All of the appropriate security protocols for you are already active. Me and the prince have already pulled some strings as well. The situation is mostly under control. Mostly under control. Never let anyone sleep any easier. Alasmai, I know that as the prince's sword, you're aching for blood, but you have to accept that. Like most weapons known to men, You're most effective hidden in the sheath. Listen here now. Looks like a fascinating philosophical discussion in the market. The making. But sadly, I'm forced to interrupt. Prince Bernard? All of a sudden, Samira appears between the two men, her calm and collected voice completely changing the atmosphere, as expected for a self-professed protector of the peace. Samira, I hope you're enjoying yourself? To be quite honest, I feel out of place. Me too, girl. She nods and smiles at me, probably to signal she takes solace in not being the only person in the room who feels like a fish out of water. Exactly. Especially now, seeing as I heard this meeting is meant for those of greater stature than mine. Nonsense! We have a delicate matter to discuss, one that might require severe judgment down the road. I think you understand why I wished for a child of Akim to be involved. Of course. What is it with that expression on your face, Kadir? He quickly collects himself. Look who's joining us. The High Regent of the Chantry of the Five Boroughs, Lady Aisling Sturbridge, walks up to her group in an outfit I would never have imagined her in, pretending everything is par for the course. Ooh! Prince Bernard, the Sheriff, the Harpy, the Banu Hakim Primogene. Are we still waiting for someone? He's almost here. Shining even more brightly than usual, Aisling. I adore your outfit, Samira. Wish the prince allowed the same amount of effort for me. Ooh, she's such a bee. I, for one, am glad she didn't. I particularly love those horns. Thank you for reminding me. I put them on at the prince's behest, but I believe she's had more than enough fun. No, not yet. Well, this will do for now. But you're not off the hook yet. I paid a costly price to see you like this. Both Kadir's and the prince's voice are strained whenever they attempt humor. Their minds are obviously elsewhere, and it's not a happy place. Arturo, on the other hand, seems calm. We all celebrate our power in different ways, I suppose. Now, what is this about? Just a moment. Over here, Addison. The Camarillas' infamous spokesman approaches, pushed towards us in a wheelchair by its servant. Elan, everyone, I certainly hope this is something important. Oh, we can see his red eye underneath his black eye mask. What a commanding tone. Seeing as Spain can't communicate normally, his servant relays his words to us instead, and he's posh and snobby enough to make me believe I'm listening to his master's voice. Carter won't be joining us? I'm not good at posh accent. He gave me fair warning he might not make it tonight. I've messaged him the details. I'll have to find time to meet him later then. Finding time searching for lost time. I swear, it's all I do nowadays. And there's never enough. I guess now you understand why I insisted that this event must last all week. So many esteemed guests, many of them from out of town, each deserving at least a few hours. The figure in the wheelchair waves his hand impatiently. Yes, let's just cut to the chase now, shall we? That might be the wisest course of action, my prince. Arturo. My prince, everyone, let me begin by stressing these important points. The situation is largely under control. The negotiations are underway, and the situation is more tense than dangerous. We are safe. Let me repeat, we are safe. And with that out of the way, here's the big news. Baron Callahan, de facto leader of Anarchs in New York City, met his final death in his office tonight. How did you find out? We have a good friend near his office. Their intel is as accurate as it gets. I feel like we are in a game of Clue or something. We've also established a negotiation channel with the Anarch. They gave us all the confirmation we needed. Was her court involved in this destruction? I look at her in disbelief, so does everyone else. Not that the same thought hasn't passed through my head, but to simply exclaim it like that. Oh, spare me the virtue signaling. I thought we were being transparent here. I don't give a damn if we took care of Callahan or not. I just want to have a clear idea of what I'm dealing with. Yes, a clear answer. I need that too. To my knowledge, none of us present here ordered his destruction, nor did we participate in it, unless someone wants to confess. It's now or never. Of course, nobody speaks up. Arturo pretends to clear his throat. That's our official position as well. The Camarilla's ruling body, and nothing to do with it. And for all intents and purposes, is and our contenders had more interest in removing him than we did. That interest is sure to manifest in one way now. His former enemies will prop him up as a martyr for the cause. Yes, which is why we decided they can't just leave the Anarchs to their own devices. As much as we'd like to avoid recognizing their sect in any way, we've offered to assist them in an official investigation. Addison Payne's wrinkled face contorted slightly. Let me just ask you one question. You do realize those curs have no respect for our traditions, yes? We do, Addison, but as a veteran politician, you should be deeply familiar with the words controlled opposition. Yes, for now it's impossible to fully contain the Anarch threat in New York. For now, our only option is to prop up a candidate who will offer the least resistance to our future plans for the city. We extend our hand to the most promising contender, giving him a way to present himself as a diplomat, a man of reasonable compromise. The rabble falls in line, the purists grow angry and alienated. We've already contacted the best possible person in their sect. He will oversee the investigation, and it's in his best interest to show he is able to resolve the situation calmly. Is that good enough? Addison ponders the question for a while, then waves his hand again. It is. Proceed. Funny thing, nobody's paying any attention to me right now. Keep in mind, Mr. Payne, our man's people will still barely tolerate us, and the situation is volatile. The other factions within that sorry excuse for sect might still try to escalate the conflict. I will do my best to solve this situation as fast as possible. How so? Kadir is momentarily taken aback by Arturo's question. I volunteer to coordinate the case with the Anarchs, of course. I refuse. You have more important duties to focus on. Once more, Kadir is stunned. All due respect, Prince, but if you don't consider me capable of tackling this issue and attending to my usual duties at the same time, I think you gravely underestimate me. Your penchant for working yourself to the bone is well known and appreciated by everyone in this room, Sheriff, but so is your perfectionism. If we do grant your wish and let you investigate while still fulfilling your routine obligations, can you guarantee you're going to give both these tasks your best? Can guarantee something very close to my best. Close to your best doesn't cut it, Alasmai. Not when the vultures are out in force. Callahan destruction is sure to cause unrest among the Anarch, and there's an obvious outlet for their pent-up rage. I want to make this perfectly clear. The celebrations will continue as planned, no matter what. This is why your presence here is absolutely necessary, Sheriff. We rely on your constant protection. Of course, my prince. We must be on constant vigil for a few days. Alas, my sword must be constantly pointed at the enemy surrounding us. The timing of the Baron's destruction is impeccable. The Anarch leaders are sure to point at us and claim we're shamelessly celebrating his hand. Does anybody believe it's just a coincidence? Murders are messy, almost as messy as politics. It's impossible to reliably predict the outcome of any violent action. I think it'd be wise of us to brace for a lot of unfortunate coincidences. Hastening. In any case, the rabble can't get the impression that their power struggles are of great concern to us. But they also think we have something to hide, which brings me to my point. We do need a symbolic gesture, one displaying expertly measured intensity. My best bet is a humble diplomatic envoy, a low-level official acting as an investigator of sorts. I implore you, Prince. Kadir, he bites his tongue and struggles to collect himself. I rarely see him lose his temper. At least, where the Camarilla is involved, What's going on? I wonder about your suggestion for this role. After all, it's not particularly prestigious, but carries a lot of responsibility. We're still talking about a Camarilla representative. Oh, I think there's a very obvious candidate. Both he and Kadir looked at me. Simultaneously, everyone else in the room does too. Now, wait a second. It can't possibly mean... Miss Julia? Once again, your full name eludes me at the moment. Am I allowed to speak, or maybe I should wait for permission? Before I make up my mind, the sheriff sighs deeply and speaks up. Sovinsky. Miss Julia Sovinsky, right? I understand you used to be an investigative journalist before your embrace. That's correct. Among others, the Banu Hakim Primordian insisted that you are worthy of greater privilege and should be given a chance to prove yourself. Samira measures Arturo with suspicion. Yes. Do you still think she's capable? She looks me deep in the eye. I swear, she's telepathically trying to tell me, please, 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 don't fuck this up, you dumbass little white girl. Of course. Good, and I'm sure that you, Alasmai, have no problem that with your protege embarking on this mission, save for the pain a mother feels when watching her child leave the nest. Whether I do or don't is not particularly important right now, is it? It absolutely is. Penard's backing of Arturo momentarily blindsides him. Prince Bernard, if Arturo's plan is reckless, I want you to tell me. I need a simple yes or no answer. Is the girl capable? Now he knows he's left with no choice. I would not entrust her with all the responsibilities that I have if she wasn't. He exchanges glances with me, but his look is different than Samira's. It's as if he is trying to apologize to me. Here we are then. A recommendation from the Banu Hakim Primordian and the sheriff. To tell you the truth, I was just throwing out ideas, but with this backing, I can't doubt the Night Clan's representative will get the job done. I'm certain each of us feels the same. Mr. Payne? The atmosphere in the room mostly suggests people are glad they don't have to discuss the topic further. A shrug here, an averted gaze there. It is as you say, I will watch the way she handles the situation with great interest. Well then, Miss Sovinsky, looks like you've got your chance for a big break. At this point, honestly, just tell me what to do. Point me in the right direction and tell me what to do. No point in pretending I have a choice here, is there? True. Excellent! That leaves us with only one more matter, which I hope we can agree on. Prince Bernard signals someone with their hand. The figure emerges from behind the counter. Good evening. Oh, it's Catherine. Catherine, what a pleasant surprise. Nobody informed us you were in town. Addison, looking healthier than ever. And what does Weiss have to do with it? We need an impartial observer who everyone respects. And as it happens, Catherine always knew how to make friends on both sides without angering either. I beg to differ. Oh, Catherine was written with a C and now it's written with a K. Which one is the good answer? I wonder. I'd be grateful if, just for once, you decided against throwing a tantrum about me, High Regent. A painful grimace crosses Aisling's face, but she is quick to interpret the taunt as an invitation to a game she can't possibly win. As long as she can prove herself useful to the proceeding in some ways. If half of what I heard about her from Mr. van der Weyden is true, she should be able to. And what did you poor Carter say about me this time? Nothing specific. One always has to read between the lines with him. But it was mostly envy. Miss West gracefully agreed to mediate between the Anarch representative and the La Sombra representative, ensuring mutual cooperation and mitigating potential conflicts. That felt like a fraudulent slip. La Sombra representative, not Camarilla representative. Someone who can be catapulted from the set without much damage to the ivory tower if they mess up. That's how I feel like it is. Is there a meeting set up? Archero looks at the clock on the other side of the room. In less than an hour. You'd better hurry then. What the hell? All of this is happening so fast. If the situation is indeed under control, I will drive her and oversee the situation. Out of the question. You've got your orders, Sheriff. Attend to those. You fool, the girl needs guidance. And we need yours. Nobody knows what might happen next. But it's not as if the Anarch have a lot of love for you, a la spy. You're too efficient in your duties for them to tolerate you. Better spare Miss Sobinsky having them see you two together. Do you think my guidance of Julia would be lacking, Kadir? I never said that. So, do you have any objections to putting her under my care? He lowers his gaze, but seems reassured. None whatsoever. That's all I needed to hear. We'll be going then. Wasting no time as usual, I see. Have you at least tried the aperitif? Waiting is an old person's game, Ellen. I still feel young. You look young. Remember, if there's anything you need help with. Probably not, but I appreciate the thought, nevertheless. Have a great night, everyone. I'll catch up with you later, Addison. I certainly hope you do. And so, we leave, in a rush. Funny considering what she told me about being in a hurry yesterday. And I will, too, leave, in a rush. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to this new episode of Vampire the Masquerade Shadows of New York for this beautiful Let's Read series that is just me reading the game without any edit. Everything is just natural. Thank you so much, and please hit the like button if you like the videos and subscribe to my channel if you want to see the rest of the series, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you. Bye.